go ahead and give you the date first, and then I'll do my little intro because it tends to come in pixelated and not great audio, and then it pans out a little bit after the first few seconds. So today is May the 11th, 2024. All right, guys. What it is yo girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the drama like prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping I didn't even do it that good. Hoping, because you gotta hold your breath for justice. Oh, to see justice before Jesus comes back. Girl, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, yes, I already gave you the date, and I got me some little notes that I want to go over. Um, First, looking at my video, like I forgot what you call it. The composition of my video. That's what it is, girl. I gotta use them big words that actually mean something. Okay, the composition of in the framing of my video is making me so think about a video that I watched from Alicia Renice yesterday, where she was talking about you are so much greater than the algorithm, and talking about content and being a content creator, and like how content creators are being burnt out. They're not able to put out the actual content that they want to put out. Hold on, let me let this window down. I'm sorry. It's hot. It's Florida hot. They're not able to put out the content that they want to put out because you have to put out a certain level of content. You have to be very, very refined. You have to talk about certain subjects that are acceptable. And if you don't, you just will be buried within the YouTube algorithm or TikTok algorithm. Well, TikTok is not so superficial yet, right? But YouTube, you definitely need to be on 10 and be on 20 if you can be. And you have got to be perfect, no and no stuff on your shirt. I always got lint on my shirt, or like I had left in her comment, I try to put lotion on my face. I seen one of my videos, my knuckles was ashy. I'm like, are you kidding me? But I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about. So I went on and left that one day, that one with the little ashy knuckles. But I try, girl, before I get on camera. But that is a lot of work, right? And if you are not getting a lot of pay for it, because she was even saying those that get thousands of views are still getting very, like, getting chump change for their videos. So it's a good video. I will link it in the description box if you're interested in watching it. But just like that video, I kind of left my commentary that I just come as I am. I tried when I first jumped back on YouTube, I tried that ultra editing, that trying to be perfect, having your hair perfect for the frame. Even I even put on some makeup, girl. I can actually link one of my videos where you can see the difference. But it took a lot to do that video. It could take anywhere from 3 days to a week to complete that video. There's one that took me a month to edit. But it did get a few hundred views, but a few hundred views for that amount of time of work is not really equal, right? So I started saying I'm just going to record and upload. So this is what you get now. You get the bare minimum. You get me. You get your real girl Cadillac. You don't get that Cadillac that's just been waxed and shine. You get that Cadillac that then just drove down the highway through to, you know how you come from Mississippi and you have all that black tar. No, it's like brown mud stuff all over your car. That's the Cadillac you getting. The real Cadillac, right? Um So I do have some notes. I know that was all sidetrackish, but that's part of me too, right? um, me, everything inspires me. Everything inspires another thought pattern because, like, I analyze things. I don't just have situations happen to me. I don't have conversations. I don't watch stuff without analyzing. Everything goes through this brain that just the little wheels just keep going, going, going. So I had a conversation with Marchello yesterday, right? And he asked about my TikTok and my YouTube, right? And I'm like, it's not really going that at my pace. I don't know. It's gonna be another couple decades before I get anywhere with any of my stuff. So I might have to let these windows up and see. This is part of it. Like if you were editing, you would completely cut this off. But it is hot. I'm gonna have to start my car. I hate that because that brings in the noise. But it is so hot. Like I literally cannot. And it's morning. It's only 10 something. Gosh, that's aggy. I mean, it's going to be a real hot day. Whew. The vent open. Then I can't turn it up like I need to because then y'all really won't hear me. Okay. But I had a conversation with him. He was asking about the TikTok and the YouTube. And I'm like, I don't know. It feels like now my TikTok as well is dying. My YouTube kind of died because I wasn't able to post every moment on moment like I was. Because I was also trying to do TikTok because TikTok was, the algorithm is not so locked that the average person can't be seen, right? So I was trying to do basically the strategy that some people do. They make it on TikTok first and then they bring people over to their YouTube. Has not been working for me at all. Has not been working, but that was the strategy in my mind that I thought I was going to do. And now it seems like both are kind of dying. This should be my cue to exit, but you know your girl Cadillac don't get it. So as I'm talking about that, Marcello is like, well, why don't you just quit it? And I'm like, you can't just quit it. It's not that simple. To just quit means to just scrap everything. I've been back on my channel, continue like daily posting since 2020. So to just quit it means to just scrap 5 years, almost 5 years of being dedicated to content creation, right? Just quit it. The music isn't working. Just quit it. That was my 2006 to my 2000, let's say 11 to 12ish. I think I really recorded last in like 13. So from 2006 to 13. Oh, music's not working for you. Why don't you just quit it? So you scrap all of that. My 2003 to 2007ish, trying to do cosmetology. Oh, cosmetology is not working for you. Why don't you just quit it? People would tell you that. And that's the simple answer. That's the answer that you get when you do not critically think or you do not analyze. Just quit it. Just quit it. It's not working. Just quit. And I keep trying to tell them it's not that easy to just quit. And what he was saying was basically like, well, you're telling me all the things that are not allowing you to make it. Like, basically, I'm telling him this ish is rigged up. Like, honestly, if you go back, it does have to do with the Alicia Renese video. Honestly, if you really understood the algorithm and making content, you would see how it is kind of programmed for certain people to be able to make it, depending on who you are, what you look like, and what you're talking about. Some people that do not look like, that are not talking about what they want to be talked about, and are not playing within those realms, just get buried. You don't get hurt. You don't get a voice. You only get a voice if you put on the costume and you play the game, right? That is the only way they usually let you have a voice. Now, there are some breakthroughs where some people kind of get through it, edge through it. Sometimes maybe they played that game to get in there, and then now they can kind of say what they want to say. But even with that, a lot of time people's channels start to go down as they start to reveal more of what they really truly wanted to say. So it is very hard. But he's like, why don't you just quit it and just focus on your graphic design? And I'm like, okay, that it honestly makes sense. I've been having this in my spirit that this is what I need to do. I have to kind of let this, I wanted it to be almost to a, you know how you work something so long till it starts working for you. So like, let's say you spent all this time tilling your garden, you planted, you watered, you watched over it, and then it starts growing, right? It starts reproducing the seeds that you planted. And then you don't have to tend, you might come and tend to it every now and then, but you can wean yourself back from the work you're putting into it, because it is now becoming self kind of sustainable. It doesn't need you to oversee it all the time. Just like raising a child, you put all that attention as a baby, and as they get a little older, you wean yourself back a little bit. They need less of your help. They don't need you to tie their shoes. They don't need you to feed them sometimes. Sometimes to actually sit there and feed them. No, they can feed themselves. They just need you to place the food on the table. As they get a little older, they don't even need you to place the food on the table. They just need you to put food in the refrigerator. And then as they get grown, you ain't even got to do that, girl. Yes. Like, you literally can only make sure you are good, right? But you know, parents still gonna make sure their children good. And shout out to all the parents that have grown children. Yes, I'm a part of that club. It is quite nice to know that every single problem that they have is not your actual problem. So you can give advice and then you can take your seat, right? But that's what I was saying with my content creation, that I've tilled it so long that it becomes sustainable, and it can grow over time, and it can become something that I can do from home. Several reasons: because I'm disabled. Second reason, disabled and barely can work. I'm working by the skin of my teeth. Just like now, I worked last night. I am in so much pain. I don't even know that part of my leg, but the part of the muscle that goes from your butt to your back of your thigh, I call them my butt legs. That area is on freaking fire. It makes it where you cannot stand and you cannot sit. It all hurts like ish, because that rhymed. But that's sciatica, right? And I haven't been able to go to my chiropractor because I'm broke now. Like, literally, I'm barely making ends meet. So it's hard for me to work. I cannot keep this up. This is a charade. Working is a charade for me. So I needed something to get me out, because I know that ship is sinking. It's sinking, right? And another, I guess, I think I get to that visual later, so I won't mention it right now. But yes, it's quite difficult for me to work. Second reason, I would like to be home more with my sister. I am caregiver to my sister, and it would be better for me to be at home more with her. So I need something remote. Now, the more that I can sustain myself on my own entrepreneur-ish type stuff, the less I have to go out into the field and work 9 to 5, right? You cannot. Now, this is where people think this is easy. Entrepreneurship is something you almost have to keep a job until that ish works. You can't just, you could just literally quit your job and then make that ish work. But if that ish doesn't work, or it doesn't work fast enough, you bumming it. You have nothing. You have no place to stay. You have no food to eat. You have nothing, right? So you gotta wean from one to the other somehow. And it's very difficult. Well, maybe it's not difficult because I see other people do it, but it's very difficult for me. I have not figured it out. So anyway, he tells me to just quit. And I'm like, and this is not the first time me and Marchello have had this conversation. I'm almost getting to a point in my life where I don't want to have no more conversations because I feel like this is not just with Marchello, this is everybody. Have you ever heard that song, If You Don't Know Me By Now? Honestly, you never gonna know me. You ain't never finna know me, right? So I feel like if we have talked about a subject for more than several times, and I'm trying to relay this message to you, and it seems as though you're not receiving the message or getting the message or understanding the message, I don't understand the purpose in me study trying to tell you the message. It's almost like my plight here on this channel of telling you how my husband's wrongfully convicted. If you clearly, after explaining to him blue in the face, can't understand how he's wrongfully convicted, it's almost like I just want to, okay, you just don't get it. You don't get it, and it's fine. Let me just go on, someone else might get it. Or let me find another way to, So I don't think he quite understands. And I don't blame him, but I know he don't understand algorithms and stuff like that, even though I try to break it down. A lot of times I try to explain, like, detail how things are now, because I do realize that Marchello went in 2002. This world is so, you can't even, like, I was thinking, people that may have went in prison from the 40s and got out in the 60s, or people that went in from the 60s and got out in the 80s, or those that went in the 80s and got out in 2000, or those that went in 2000. Now, it seems like, I'm going to stop there because it was probably some change, but it wasn't. Everything in life is done different in those eras. But when you go from someone that went to prison in 2000, the year 2000, and say they got out in 2020, I need somebody to do an interview like that. Boy, do you know how much different the world is? So Marchello does not know. He knows some from stories he's heard, but he doesn't know how much the world truly has changed. And I think he does hear our stories, but I think it's almost like you gotta experience it to honestly know how fast the world is changing and how much it has changed in that 20-year span. So the last time that Marchello was a free man was in 2002, April, I think it was April the 9th or 10th, I'm sorry, April 10th, 2002 was the last time Marchello walked these streets as a free man, right? That was it. Everything else has been incarceration in a closed environment. Now, life behind bars may not have changed so drastically. I know there are some changes from incarceration in 2000 to 2020, There's a lot of changes within just the prison wife life from 2002 to 2020, right? So it has changed, but it's not changing exponentially like it is out here. So now it's like almost like we're in two separate worlds. I believe that he thinks the world is like formulating from experiences that I'm telling him, that whoever else he has contact with on the outside is telling him, because that's really or maybe overhearing guards conversations, or maybe watching TV, what you can gather from those places, and you formulated what the world is in your mind, but you haven't experienced it. And so keep that part in mind. So he was like, why don't you just quit it? And I'm like, I can't just quit, Marchello. You don't keep starting from ground zero and then when it doesn't work, you just quit it. I have to stick this out. But I do know I have to shift my focus. My focus can't stay here because this is not growing. It's not getting me out of my situation of needing to stop work, So I have to shift. So he was like, why don't you work on your graphic design more and just quit that? And I'm like, honestly, that's true. I do need to get more into, and I do have a project that I'm supposed to be working on. It get a slow start. I had to get my computer back and running, up and running. Then my software was giving me issues. I finally just got my software on there. And then now I'm ready to go. But now I got to find the time to squeeze this into my day, right? Because going to work, just like I came home from work, literally got off early to me. I got off around 10 something. I was walking out that door, and I used to be able to stay up to 3 a.m., 4 a.m. working on content or on whatever project that I need to do, and I fell asleep. Straight across the bed, fell straight asleep. And then I think because that's early going to sleep for me, that I'm going to get up early, and no, I don't get up early. I get up at the same time. So my body, I'm competing against my body as well. That I've always burnt myself to the candle at both ends, basically all of being an adult, right? And now my body just is saying, no, I'm not allowing you to push me that far anymore. If we're sleepy, we're going to sleep. That is basically like my body is taking over and saying, no more will we do this. No more will we stretch ourselves that thin. So I haven't yet got to start on that project, which now I said after I wrap this video up, I gotta go home, let my sister help her get ready, prepare for work, and then I'm going to actually either drive straight to work a couple of hours early and actually sit there and start on that project then and there, or I'm gonna work a few hours and then head to work. I think it's better to head to work and work from work, because then you'll be less distracted, and I won't. When you get into that graphic design, you get into a mode, a zone, and time can go like that. I promise you, it could be hours, and you are just so into it that you lose track of time, and I don't want to be rushing and ripping and running trying to get to work. So I think the second one is what I'm gonna do. So I was trying to tell him that I want to do that. I just have to be able to shift my focus. And the true actual way you shift your focus doesn't be like, oh yeah, forget content creation. Let's do only graphic design. No, slowly your focus moves. The more that you do one thing, the less that you do the other. So I don't just quit here on content creation and then only go towards graphic design. I do more graphic design, and in turn it takes my time away from content creation, right? That's how it really works in real life. And so he was like, why don't you just do that? And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but where do I find my Where do I find my clientele, basically? And what I'm trying to relate to him, that which sucks, right? Every area is impacted by not by who you know, by who knows you. So you can be the grandest lawyer, but a lot of times they go by them lawyers that they see on them billboards, them lawyers that they getting asked, those lawyers that have social media. Does that make them a better lawyer? No, but it makes them more known. Almost everything is about who knows you. Like even with like cosmetology. Nowadays, I'm seeing that people are getting themselves a cosmetologist is doing services like basically online, showing their stuff, and they're getting big online, and then that is affecting people coming in. It's not the old cosmetology game that I played back in 2003 to 7, where I pound the street. I could be the best cosmetologist around, but you don't give me the time of day because you already know the name circulating of such and such cosmetology. Now almost everything is built online first. Your reputation is built there first, and then it transfers to your business. It affects your business. So just because you're on Instagram doing nails, honestly don't mean you the best nail tech, but you have more visibility, which brings in more clientele. That's just the nature of how things are run now. And that's the part that I don't think Marchello understands, how much this world is run by. And that goes back to Alicia Renice's video too, how much of this world and how much of us are controlled by computers. Honestly, that was in that video. And he doesn't realize that. And another thing that I don't think he realizes is how fast time is gone here. Because now it's like we're consumed. Back then you could, in 2002, you were able to work one job, one shift, not this flexible shift stuff. And you could make ends meet, right? So you weren't always consumed with running from this task to run to that task, to run to this task, to run to that, because there were buffers, there were margins in between our lives. We weren't always busy doing something to just try to stay afloat, right? We were able to put our work life separate from our personal lives. We had actual separated lives. Like we had work life, friendship life, family life, personal, what did they call those, hobbies. Who got time for a hobby now? I literally used to sew. That was my hobby. Who has time for that? And draw, I barely can squeeze in drawing, right? Which reminds me, I was supposed to ship out Trees Wonk's shirt today. So this is going to another day, girl. But it's like, he doesn't realize this is the tempo of life out here. His tempo in there is, I even realize he doesn't have to worry about paying a bill. He don't have to worry about even the thought of traffic. He may have to work, but they get up and they walk. What traffic is it on the path to work? Not trying to be funny, but he doesn't even have to worry about like how I have to get from here and get through. Our traffic has just compounded. It used to take almost less than 20 minutes to get anywhere in Orlando, from one side of Orlando to the other. Now sometimes it's taking you double that, and I'm like, why? Like literally, where are all these freaking people? It's traffic all day long. Any time of day, there's traffic, right? And so you're trying to rush home because you got to do this before this and that and this. And it's crazy. He does not understand that. And I don't fault him because he can't understand it. I just say, I cannot wait for that day when he gets out and we gonna mark. I'm going to bring it up the moment I hear him say, "Oh my gosh, it's just so much to do." Like the moment he makes any type of inference to, it just is too much. It's like, how can I do all of this? I'm gonna just sit there. I'm gonna let y'all know. I might not say it straight to him because I don't want to hurt his little feelings. But bless his heart, he doesn't really understand. So I'm realizing more and more we're in two different worlds, completely different worlds. We met in one world. Me and Marchello met in one world, fell in love, and I still love him to the bottom of my heart. I will love him till Jesus come back. But I am realizing that our worlds, so we were in the same world, but our worlds are separating. He lives in this, almost, it feels like a different universe. And I live in this universe, right? But I don't know. Okay, so these are the thoughts that came about when I was trying to relate to him, but I don't think he can kind of understand the concept I'm trying to say, whatever. Okay, so today's thought patterns was brought on by a convo with Marchello. I do believe he thinks that my pain is self-inflicted. So when I try to explain, like how I try to explain the algorithms or the reason I'm not thriving in a graphic design business, I think after talking to him, he thinks that it's basically me inflicting my own pain. I'm stopping me. My stuff is not working because I'm doing something wrong, or I'm not thinking that I can do something. I know my talents, my abilities, but it does not matter how good I am at it. If nobody sees me, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't matter how good my next video is. If nobody watches it, it's nothing, right? So you need someone else. Like another example, Marchello has a book that he's been wanting us to work on, and he keeps saying, as soon as that book get out, we're going to generate revenue and blah, blah. And I'm like, I love your enthusiasm, but real life, you don't just make a book and you're able to quit every job in the world and you're financially free and you're able to afford lawyer money and this and that. I know that's not the truth. Do you know how many people have books? The book market is even saturated now. Everything's saturated because everyone's trying to get out of 9-to-5 rat race, right? So I know it's not really going to work like that. So when I explained to him, yes, let's do the book, but you could run into this right here, that right there, and he thinks those are just mental blocks, when actually it's reality blocks. Reality is blocking us. It's actually happening. So I likened it to, so I do believe he thinks my pain is self-inflicted, which I'm telling him, it is not me holding me back. It is the system that is created for us not to be, basically the system was designed for us to be 9-to-5 workers, right? We are to work most of our lives, and then if you live long enough, you may have a little bit of portion when you're too old to do all the activities you wanted to do. Then you may have some time, right? That's how it's set up. It is not set up for everybody to make it outside of this. Some get out because it's not sealed off. It's just netted where some can break through. but it's not meant for everybody to break through. So it is very hard. It's hard to make it happen. So I think it's the system. If I was not living within this controlled, very much controlled, very much, once you realize every single little thing, it's controlled whether you see this video or not. It's controlled whether it's... Okay, I know without that controlled system, I could have really reached every dream. Because there's no answer as to why someone so dedicated, so hardworking, so actually gifted does not ever succeed. It's someone that will not give up. That is all you really need to succeed. But there is a system that is designed to not have us succeed. Just like breaking my husband's case. Literally, there's no way his case should not be broken by now. If you knew all the work I have done from 2002 to now, there's no reason he should not be free. But the reason he's not free is because it is a system designed for him to not be free. So some can be freed through the system, but like I say, it's not sealed off, but it's netted where just very few can get through, right? Every now and then something breaks through. So that's what it's more like. I don't believe I'm holding myself back. I believe it's the systems intact that are making sure I don't break through. So for me, I visualize the lady, like, did you see The Invisible Man? Like the newer one that came out, and she's sitting at dinner and she's fighting this. He's like choking her and she's like, she doing some crazy stuff. And then he actually outs, I think, her sister, and they think she did it. Like, she is fighting this thing, but you can't see it. You can't see the system. It's not there. It's not like a mechanical room and you see all the things in the way they're manipulating everything. You can't see the system. So when you realize you're fighting a system and you're trying to explain to somebody that it's not that I can't, like when people say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get a job and this and that, and stop complaining. And they're acting as though it is the person that just doesn't want to succeed. When it's not the person, it's the actual system that is holding the person back from succeeding. And the person realizes this system is there, but by it being invisible, you can't physically see it. You think the boundary is not around you. When it is, well, you think the boundary is not around them. Because if it was around you, you would take notice. You would then be on the same side saying, I can't make it. What am I supposed to do? How do I? And that sounds a lot like complaining, but it's not really complaining. Complaining is what you do when you just don't get your butt up and try. But once you have tried and 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 you realize every try amounts to nothing, you realize something is wrong. It doesn't make sense. I'm scratching my head because that's what you'll be doing, scratching your head, right? So it's like you're fighting, like that scene where the lady's fighting the invisible man at dinner table. She looked crazy, girl. And at the end, like, they really found out that it was an invisible man, right? But then she, by that time, thought she was crazy herself, right? Okay, he doesn't acknowledge the restraints that are over my life, that are over our lives, not just me. I'm not the only one being restrained. Over our lives out here. So for him being in prison, he believes out here is total freedom. Total freedom. And I try to explain to him there's levels to freedom, right? Though our bodies are not physically restrained in concrete and bars, they create situations that create mental bars. So if you restrain us mentally, you don't have to restrain our bodies. We're not going to go that far, right? If you this is deep, honestly. Okay, so an illustration came to mind while I was driving to work, because we had that conversation. I went on to work. I still was thinking about it, girl, right? And while I was listening to Pastor Dwight BJR. Okay. And this is what I envision. Like I'm trying to swim, right? I can swim. I know how to swim. I swim good. I can swim above water and below water, right? Because you got to learn when you live in Florida. That is a must, because so many drownings happen in Florida. You must get your kids, teach them how to swim, right? Okay, so it's like me trying to swim. I know how to swim. I can swim good, right? But it's like someone tied my hands and then telling me to swim. And if I don't swim, I'm trying, but if I don't swim, you blaming me. It's because you're not trying hard enough to swim. It's because you're not expanding your arms enough to swim. I'm not expanding my arms, but you got my arms tied. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Or like baby birds. When baby birds are born, right? What if they just broke their wings? Right? Maybe the wings repaired, but they didn't repair how they would be if they weren't broken in the first place. I would compare that to the school to prison pipeline. They're basically breaking those babies' wings and preparing them to be in the next generation of bed fillers, right? Okay, so breaking the baby bird's wings and blaming them for not taking flight. Or if they do take flight, they can't soar like they would if they weren't manipulated with, tampered with, controlled. Stop for a minute to live your life. Okay, so now that thought process was over. And then I rushed off to work. And the thing was that yesterday, I thought I was on time. I thought I was good. I thought I had an hour. I actually got out of my house in enough time to not rip and run like a lunatic to work. I stopped by JCPenney because I seen some Juneteenth stuff I wanted to look at. I tried to vlog it, but I guess the Wi-Fi in JCPenney is not good, so it didn't show up. Then I was like, I wanted some ice cream. I was in the mall, but I didn't see no ice cream shops in the mall, so I went to a Twisty Tree, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna have my little ice cream. It's hot as jail out here, and jail is hot. Maybe think of the hot box challenge. Beat the heat challenge, not the hot box challenge. But I said I can eat my little ice cream on the way to work, come in calm, cool, ready for the day. And I look at my schedule and I realize, wait a minute, I looked at the wrong day. It's the right day, but I looked at the wrong date. I was supposed to be to work at 3, not 4. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I'm late when I thought I was early? You got to be kidding me. Like, I can't lose for winning. So I wrote this. It's like when you stop to take time to live your life. That's what I did. I stopped to smell the roses, right? And then the moment I stopped, I was late. Like I had dropped the ball. Okay, so stopping for a minute to live your life is like pausing the juggling act. Because to make it in today's day, honestly, you have to juggle. It's like a constant juggling act. Paying the bills, cleaning up, taking care of kids, grandchildren, this, oh, prison wife stuff, work, my passion, get off of work, barely sleep. I'm a what else? I'm a I'm a what is that? What do you call that? Caregiver to my sister. Trying to keep the house up. Trying to do this. Trying to do that. Making content. Going on a walk. Like, it's juggling, right? Trying to keep up your hoe. And you're juggling. And then one day you drop all the balls. So it's like if you take one moment to pause and breathe, like I paused with JCPenney, got me some ice cream, I dropped the balls. Right? So stopping for a minute to live your life is like pausing the juggling act. Okay. Having different aspects of your life that are very important to you. Okay, so this is another example I did of that juggling act where you literally have different aspects. Remember how I said okay, for me, I'm the prison wife. I'm the caregiver. I'm the artist. I'm the mother. I'm the grandmother. I want to be with my grandchildren. I want to be with my daughter because she's pregnant. Those times are fleeting. Those are not forever moments. You must be in the moment for those things, right? I also want an art career before these hands give out completely, because I only got so much more ability in my hands, or before my eyes go out because I'm going blind. So literally, that is not I will always have time to do that thing, and I'm getting older. My keeping up my house and my car. If y'all just knew how unkept this freaking car is, it says 2,334 miles past due for oil change. Like, literally. And my gas light on. Girl, the upkeep of the car. Like, you have all these different aspects and places. Like, I'm the auntie, I'm the fun auntie that the nephew and the niece want to call every weekend. So on my weekends, do I spend time with my beautiful little niece and nephew, or do I spend time on this? What's going to be more important to me? And you know I'm a family person, family-oriented person. So in the spiritual life, right? So you got these different aspects of your life. You really want to devote to all of them, but you cannot. Not in this day and age. You have got to choose which one can I do at this time, right? And it gave me another illustration popped in my head. This is when I was at work and I was just kind of bussing the tables, stand by the door, greeting guests and stuff like that. Okay. Having different aspects of your life that are very important to you, but you not having the time to ever do them all is like one of those CD changers back in the day. Y'all remember that? Maybe you don't if you're younger watching this, but I think pretty much people that watch my channel are about my age or older, right? Okay, so you remember those CD changers back in the day? You have a favorite song. So everything that you need to do, motherhood, grandmotherhood, artistry, whatever, that's a different CD, right? You got a favorite song from each CD. Okay, but no matter how you tried, you could only listen to one favorite song at a time. Because the CD changer can only load one disc. Though I had one that had 5 discs, right? They could be in the changer, but you can only play one at a time. Only one can be loaded at a time, and one can be heard at a time, right? And that's how we have to choose which thing we want to, what aspect. Like now, I clearly should be at home. It's 11:20. I have the CD of content creation in. It's in my CD player. because it's in my CD player at this moment, and I only have the boundary because I gotta head to work by 2:30 to barely make it, right? So 11:30, I got 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. I got 3 freaking hours to do everything, to let my sister get ready, to get myself prepared for work, to now I'm talking about sitting down for a couple hours to work on that thing, because I got this CD player, this CD of content creation in. The graphic design CD can't fit in. But before I can even think about the graphic design CD going in, I have got to let the caregiver CD play. So that popped in mind. I am a very visual person, and I love, God always gives me different analogies or different visuals to explain what I'm trying to say, or to understand further how something is. Okay, so only one disc can play at a time. Even if you could play 2 or more at a time, so let's say it was a way to load both, or I can get 2 different systems. I can play one favorite song on the radio and one favorite song on the CD changer, right? But now you're bringing down the quality. That's like you trying to work while you're spending family time. The quality is brought down. You're trying to call in, like you're driving to work. This happens a lot to me, driving to work, and you're trying to pay a bill over the speaker on your phone. You're getting distracted because if you don't pay this bill, they gonna cut this and this off, but you gotta get to work. Like, so it's trying to double time things. You're trying to play 2 different CDs, 2 different favorite songs at the same darn time, right? The quality of your musical experience will go down. The quality of each aspect of those parts of your life go down, right? You're no longer present with your family, though your body's present. Your mental's not present, because your mental is worrying about the bills you gotta pay, worrying about, oh God, I haven't done this, oh God, oh. So you're trying to play 2 different CDs at once. It's like jumping rope. Another analogy. Can you jump rope? I used to can. I ain't did it in so long, so I don't know if I still can. But I could jump rope. Okay, let's do double dutch. You know, double dutch is harder, doing 2 things at once. So you're avoiding 2 ropes at once. It's harder than avoiding 1 rope. What if you could do quadruple jump? Double dutch, not double dutch, quadruple dutch or something, and you trying to, or what is it, the 5 and 6 dutch? Could you do it? Even in double dutch, when the rope moves faster, you can kind of do double dutch when you like this, but when it's like this, it gets harder. And that's how the things in life now are flying to us. So I just can't wait till he get out and he can see how this world really has sped itself up. It reminds me of that in Shawshank Redemption, when the old guy, I gotta get his character name because I reference it a lot, but he gets out and he's like, it's like the world done gone and got itself busy. And it did. Though they freed up so much of our time by making things easier, because things are made so much easier, they feel like there's so much more we can be doing with our time. It's not, our time wasn't freed up so that we can have free time. Our time was freed up so we could do more things, be more productive, do more and more and more, and get more work out of this vessel. All right, guys, I gotta go because now I got to take the disc of content creation out, because if I leave this disc in too long, I won't be able to listen to the caregiver disc and the finally starting this graphic design project disc. All right, guys, here's your girl Cadillac.